I'll go.
All right.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Young Talkers podcast. We had a week's break in between because we had some family emergencies we had to deal with. Also, we have our exams coming up, me and Veer, back here in India. So we might not be able to upload podcast for the next 2 weeks because of the exams pressure. But we will try to accommodate whatever happens in this whole month for a new podcast that will probably come out in the next 2 weeks once our exams get over. So for now, you have this. And Som, would you like to start us off with some disturbing news again in USA? Shootings don't seem to stop. Like we said last time, shootings are happening every day, and there's been a new shooting in Times Square, I believe. So
Yeah, what seems like a recurring news cycle in the United States is a shooting occurred in Times Square, and it basically stemmed from a conflict between three or four men where one of them pulled out a gun, and three innocent bystanders were shot and killed. And just a couple of days before, there was a shooting in a middle school where a sixth grader pulled out a handgun and began opening fire. Thankfully, no one was killed in that situation. And as I said, it's a recurring news cycle of just shootings happening in the United States because, as we stated in an earlier podcast, America is the land of the free and guns. So guns here are common, and when you have guns that runs as rampant as water, shootings are bound to happen.
Yeah, I think now that even recently Texas finally passed the law for roaming without a license. You can like roam with a gun, and you don't require a license. So I think that's just getting them closer to something that's going to be worse, where you can just go up about shooting places, and people can go about with whatever they want to. So I think I get that people require the freedom, but I think we need to talk about to what extent this freedom can go till, and to who all this freedom is going to, because I think it's starting to get into the wrong hands, and people are using this freedom the wrong way.
yes, definitely, no doubt about that. The scarier fact is that this was a sixth grader, which is basically someone who's about 12, like 13 years old. And that's the scary bit that a 6-year old could have access to a firearm and injure three people. Although she was disarmed by the teacher and the janitor, it's still quite scary to think about someone that young get their hands on such a lethal weapon.
Yeah, and the motive of that shooting is unknown, but we see in a lot of other school shootings someone who is bullied, someone who is kind of like socially awkward, they may feel some way and then bring a gun to school. And the simple fact of the matter is in school, which is sad that bullying is common, and in an area with guns that adds to the danger.
Yeah, we must also note that last time we called for action on the part of the US government, and there have been talks within President Biden and his inner circle and Congress to pass some safety regulations regarding guns. But like news across the board is saying that US hasn't yet passed anything legally. So, there's nothing that has happened legally. There've only been talks. But we're still hopeful that some change will come in the gun laws in USA in the near
While
future.
Yeah, while we can remain hopeful, right? Hope is always good, but in reality, all these talks will halt at the Second Amendment, which is always the elephant in the room, because a lot of people basically interpret the Second Amendment as this right of guns with zero limitation, and while I believe that the Second Amendment gives you the right to own guns, but it doesn't give anyone the right to own guns.
Now we should move on to the next topic, which is again more heartbreaking for people across the world because there's been a surge of cases in India, and especially a couple of states and cities such as Delhi and states such as UP and Bihar are seeing big surges, big rises in cases, big jumps, and predictions are being made that by August, India in totality might have one 1.6 million deaths due to COVID. And this is the scary part because just when you thought that cases might have peaked, the surge has just reached its peak. It hasn't. It's yet to rise. And that's not only the scary part. The scary part is also that deaths are rising. wherever there is severity, deaths are increasing. So we're seeing India completely get exposed. So here, any words from both of you?
Yeah, I think because like places like Chennai and Delhi who were like lower on cases when Mumbai's peak occurred, and now we know, thankfully, Mumbai's cases are finally decreasing. They've gone down to about 3,000 cases a day from 20 to 30,000, and I think that's good for Mumbai because that's because of the strict lockdown that we have till the 15th. What bothers me is that now that Chennai has also gone into a full lockdown, when Mumbai's lockdown opens, it's not going to be not going to be a good thing because in a week's time after the lockdown opens, people are going to start roaming outside again and stop following rules and go against them, and that's what's going to get the cases back up and right up again. So I think we should learn from cases like Chennai, where they're going to have to go through a lockdown again, and hopefully we don't have to go into a lockdown for the third or fourth time.
Yep, and like as Veer said, lockdowns are not only devastating to like people's mental health because you have to stay at home, but also devastating to the economy, to the like small business owner, which is the backbone of the economy. And what's sad is that if you speak to anyone who is evenly remotely connected to India, their family has been affected by COVID. Like earlier, you would hear stories of maybe a family of a family of a friend. Right now it's personal, everyone has been affected. And you just hope that you just hope everyone in India just stays safe and just fights through this, because India has fought through worse things, and I believe they can pull through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and more importantly, I don't know if you guys know about this organization known as the Lancet, which is basically this uh, general medical journal, and they're meant to help out countries who are suffering very terribly from any virus outbreak or anything health or medical related. And recently, they made a very strong statement on the rise of cases in India. They claimed they warned the government months ago of a new surge coming, but the government gave its citizens a false sense of security. This false hope that cases in India are now dying down, we're going back to normal, when in reality, cases just hadn't even reached the peak yet.
And we talk about this double mutant, but the reality is in many places in India, the double mutant, this new Indian variant, is not even the dominant variant yet. It's yet to reach at a full scale, like in Delhi, where the UK strain is still dominant. So in many places, the peak is yet to come. That was seen in Mumbai, where the double mutant was the dominant strain, and now they're recovering. But in many places, the peak is yet to come
Yeah,
because
just to add to your point, places such as UP and Bihar are yet to see a peak. I mean, when you've got a chief minister claiming to have the cure for the virus, claiming to say that cow piss, who has, ministers under him claiming that cow piss is the solution for the virus. Literally, when the virus came out, there were meetings, not meetings, in fact, I would say celebrations and get togethers held, claiming that, Gau Mutra, which is basically cow piss, can is the cure for COVID-19. No need to be worried. Just have a sip or two and you'll be okay. And that was the propaganda that started it all. And people believe in this stuff. It may be hard for the viewers to believe this, but people believe in this. Some people really do believe that, oh, virus isn't that, it doesn't exist. It's a lie. You have to drink this, do that, pray to God, and you'll be okay. But this is science. Just this is nature. This is nature just destroying mankind for its ignorance of science, for its just how we've avoided science over the decades, how we've avoided medicines and medical advice. So yeah, it's a slap from nature to all of mankind, and I hope we learn from this. You always have to be prepared medically. So yeah, anything else we would like to add? Any new topics we like to discuss, guys?
I think
I
that's
think
it.
yeah.
That's it. Stay safe and stay safe, stay home, and yeah, just pull through because it will end. Nothing
Yes,
bad.
will end. Thank you guys for watching. Share, subscribe, like. See you guys next week, maybe next month. Bye.